Hello, everyone. This is an argument that we've been having for a while, and finally we decided to do a live about it and to discuss whether, or rather where on the spectrum of centralization does Solana fall. So, as you know, my partner Nick,
Hello.
he's a Solana fanboy. He's been flipping NFTs on Solana for a while, and even though I applaud his efforts, I think Solana is a centralized network that is worth close to shit.
من هون مشيت الدسكشن. كنت اجي عن جد قالوا لي كمان I flipped an NFT. يطلع عليا هيك يشوف لوجو سول خلص end of discussion. Now we're gonna prove انه it's worth شوية attention يعني.
We're gonna try, I guess.
Okay.
هات نشوف.
Decentralization, like you always say, it's a spectrum. It's not a binary characteristic بتاعتيها لشغلة, especially on blockchains, right? يعني فيها تكون it's not centralized or not decentralized. It's a spectrum where you
somewhere
can
in between, and there are different degrees.
Yes, where Bitcoin is now
sure
number one, and a server عندك بالبيت is the centralized server عليها.
So Polygon, yeah.
So Polygon. الناراتيف اللي بنسمعهم عن سولانا هن 2-3 حبلش فيهم, which انت اللي اذا you agree مع الناراتيف then we could actually
okay this is interesting.
This
okay
is interesting.
let's do that.
كيف عم ناخذ discussion.
okay
على اول level من هيدي الدسكشن هي خبريه nodes are very expensive to run, right?
Okay, so that's the
That's
narrative.
a narrative. No, that's why.
So are we gonna mention any other narrative? So قلت لي في 3 narratives صح؟
narrative, yeah.
So are we gonna mention any other narrative خاصه بالنودز كمان, or رح نحط كل شيء خاصه بالنودز ب1 narrative?
حنجرب كل شيء خاصه بالنودز.
So what is that narrative around nodes?
انه to be able, decentralization should be easy. Setting up nodes should be easy. Like example Bitcoin, you can set up على حيلا device عليه 8 GB RAM وعليه internet, you can set up a node.
Okay.
This isn't the case بسولانا. Based on هيدا statement, they say انه خلص it's centralized as shit.
So how is it not the case? How does the narrative rather claim it's not the case?
لأنه narrative تبع أو
أنت عم تقول إنه هيدا الناراتيف
Yes,
هو public narrative, right? إنه these are why people say إن Solana is centralized, right? One of them has to do with node. So I think إنه access to the hardware for the nodes is essential.
Okay.
And essentially إذا بتطلع على requirements تبع Solana, we're talking about 12 cores, we're talking about 128 gigabytes of RAM. We're talking about over 1 terabyte, way more than 1 terabyte of SSD. And this is not accessible to everyone.
Yes.
You agree?
Yes, this is not accessible.
Okay, we have 1,161 nodes right now.
مزبوط.
Right?
Yes.
48% of which are controlled by the Solana Foundation.
We can argue في كتير numbers بهالخبرية يعني, بس قبل هيدا عدد النودز ما بيعني انه is it centralized or decentralized. في coefficient نعتمده نحن
اللي هو
ناكاموتو coefficient.
Okay.
which in a sense بفرجينا قد ايه it's centralized or decentralized. At the top عندنا Bitcoin, which is around 74 Nakamoto coefficient. Around it في Ethereum around 34 39. Solana is around the 19. في كتير L1 chains تانية بيكون coefficient تبعهم 6 و5
مزبوط
و4 وناكاموتو coefficient which بيرد على الناراتيف اللي عم نحكيها انه بحط من الفاريبلز تبعه قد ايه عدد النودز, قد ايه عدد البارتيسيبنتس بالنتورك, وقد ايه
بس هيدا does it measure شو the decentralization at the tech level or the decentralization at the value level?
At both.
How does it? I don't think it represents both.
What do you mean about value?
So right now about over 40% of Solana tokens are with Solana insiders.
Okay, تاني narrative is about tokens. إذا بدك we can شفت
لا خلينا نضل على النودز
Okay.
rather اوكي
Yes.
خلينا اترك هالارجيومنت
Yes,
لبعدين
tokens,
لكن خلينا نرجع
yes.
على هيديك بعدين. So اول شيء regarding the nodes, right? You need to get validated by Solana to run a node حتى لو ركبت كل هالريج.
Yes. لأنه they're very
وthey're privately owned company.
حريصين كتير على
بس they're privately owned company.
Okay, بس anyone يعني
So I could
acceptance is
argue
very
that
high.
I could argue that Quorum يلي هي البلوكتشين تبع جي بي مورغان, the private blockchain تبع جي بي مورغان is a decentralized network. Do you agree?
No.
Why?
في كتير
It's based on EVM, proof of work. It's
Okay.
even more decentralized than Solana. Literally anyone can run a node.
Okay, بس supply is basically
Controlled by
جماعة
a private
Quorum.
entity,
في
right?
أشتكي on now. Solana can't do that.
مين قال لك؟
مين قال لك إنه Quorum? No, it's a narrative that.
Okay, بس عم نحكي إنه عن a network that's privately owned.
Okay.
صح؟
It's not privately owned. It's privately secured and protected due to the fact إنه
So رجعنا على موضوع التراست. We're centralizing trust again.
centralized يعني initial phase تبع سولانا كانت trust very centralized ومع الوقت it's growing وعم نجرب نخف قد ما فينا خبرية الفاونديشن وتصير decentralized أكتر.
How?
Same case
شو الرود ماب تبعها؟
same case بيصير بإيثيريوم وتبلشت إيثيريوم ما كانت as decentralized as هي هلا مع الوقت as more people understand the technology as more people can be responsible عن هالقرارات هي بتخفف من تحكمها بهالاخبار.
So بس this is decentralization قلنا at a trust level, right?
Yes.
At a trusting a central entity rather than that entity dissipates the power across the network. مثل ما صار بإيثيريوم you're saying you're claiming إنه هيك حيصير بسولانا. However, Ethereum is based on proof of work.
Okay.
Solana is based on proof of stake هلا.
Proof of history, iteration of proof of stake. يعني.
Sure,
Okay.
sure, okay. Semantics. Basically, you're locking value, right? مزبوط. And you can't unlock that value without a time delay.
مزبوط.
صح؟
صح.
So إذا في شيء على network that you disagree with, you can't pull out in time. So your vote really doesn't matter as long as you delegate to someone صار هو عم بقرر عنك كل شيء. بينما if you're a miner on a proof of work network, you stop mining.
Okay. Clearly, we're not gonna take a discussion the proof of work versus proof of stake. بعتقد كلنا we agree إنه proof of work is a better consensus what's needed
Okay.
on any blockchain that want to run a good consensus.
Okay.
Clearly proof of work is a better وهيدا هون الناراتيف يعني it's nature تبع proof of stake بس كمان drawbacks إنه proof of work isn't as scalable which was Solana is built for. Solana is built for high TPS, high transaction per second. That's why عندك this
So
kind
isn't
of
the point
control.
was to sacrifice decentralization for the sake of speed?
Yes, it's clearly stated in their works. It's clearly a thing that they're working on to minimize centralization.
طيب, I would like to talk شوي about the coefficient.
Yes, since فتحت قدامك.
لا actually ماني فاتح شيء خاص بالcoefficient.
قدامك.
سؤالي هو عن الcoefficient.
Yes.
So
إذا بدك في
it
تقريباً
measures
variables
it
تبعها.
measures ما عندي اللينك هلا.
Okay.
بس it measures okay how many
It's basically
قد إيه في-
decentralization
قد إيه في-
quantified. in a
مزبوط
number.
بس this quantification is only at one of those three levels يلي هن في التك في الفاليو right
Yeah.
وفي التراست.
people يعني okay trust.
Okay.
Right.
هلا as long as عم نحكي عن trust, the fact that we have to trust a central entity right now to trust Solana,
مزبوط.
this is already يعني it's already a, you know, a big negative.
مزبوط.
So شو الargument against that?
literally ما لازم يكون في blatant argument. The argument is انه ال1s layer 1 chains ينطلقوا fast to break out the theme fast. The right people, the smart people they have created should have some kind of control تطلع على السريع. يعني زمان قرنا يعني لانه now اذا القرارات اللي عم يتاخذوا من Solana Foundation you can't let normal people take those decisions due to many factors. وإذا you want the fast result اللي أنت عندك.
بس sorry I'm getting confused a bit لأنه صرنا عم نحكي عن elitism when it comes to technology.
أكيد.
And the whole point of decentralization was to decentralize power.
مزبوط. The same case could be said on Ethereum. Nobody does this إلا Bitcoin properly. Nobody does this إلا Bitcoin properly. Nobody does اللي شيء عم تحكي عنه أنت إلا Bitcoin.
I think we agree on that.
حتى Ethereum عندها foundation.
I think we agree on that. Yeah.
وكل الانهيرنتنس وكل الفاكتورز اللي ماشي فيهم سولانا هن اصلا inherited من Ethereum.
Although the argument على Bitcoin is that development is centralized.
Yes.
Not as much as before. قبل كانت أكتر obviously. بس I guess the point is إنه ما في مهرب.
ما في literally.
من some level of, and that's why we consider it a spectrum and not a binary
number.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
طيب so تاني pillar تاني narrative
token distribution.
Okay.
Properly, as we always say, في one token that the distribution مزبوط Bitcoin.
Okay.
Halving, block rewards وكل الأخبار.
Okay.
People start viewing this model and they went to accelerate it. أول عالم that did that Ethereum with فكرة ال ICO جمعوا funds ببيتكوين. This was a big narrative for Bitcoin people to hate Ethereum people, the pre-mined supply, right?
Okay.
Which إنه supply تبع بيتكوين من أول بلوك طلع صار 6 يعني صار كل 10 دقائق يطلع supply بينما بين ايثيريوم بلوك تشين وقت طلعت البلوك تشين اول بلوك زيرو كان already في supply اللي وين اجى من الاي سي او.
Okay.
This causes some kind of centralization issue. يعني إذا أنت قدرت تزيد قبل البلوك.
بس ما you're injecting value into the network even at Genesis block.
مزبوط. بس الناراتيف بتقول إنه what made ما فيك إنه هلا ترجع تزيد أنت.
بس هلا are the majority of Ethereum tokens or coins held by the Ethereum Foundation?
هلا no.
بس كان في mechanism to get there.
صح.
يلي هو proof of work. Proof of stake makes it harder to get there.
مزبوط. تعال نرجع قلنا ماشيين بالتسلسل بالأفكار وصلنا على سولانا in terms of initial token sale كان عندها highest token distribution للcommunity. You can check the fact على التابلت لحد تبعي يجي هيك.
Okay.
كان عندها the highest token allocation للcommunity تبعها which was highest than كل الألوانز وبيناتهم Ethereum.
Okay.
Right? The allocation لل Solana Foundation wasn't less than تبع Ethereum but it was in the middle around ratio يعني في Terra وفي Ethereum وفي كذا examples منه.
Okay.
hence Solana token distribution isn't as centralized as people think. والsupply اللي مع Solana Foundation اللي هو 40% or whatever number.
It's over 40%.
Whatever
That's
number.
a considerable amount.
Yes. فيه vesting schedule. It's going through funds to create projects.
And is that transparently available for everyone to see?
As transparently as Solana Foundation wants, which bring us to the layer تبع
Trust.
Yes.
So we have to again trust. So you're saying it's trust that you're placing in intelligent people on the short term, right? To reach a level of decentralization.
Which was very similar to Ethereum approach. Whether
But how old is Solana? So how old is the Solana network?
Literally it's a 2-year-old blockchain. ما عندي كتير هيدا.
Okay.
الداتا تبعها. Ethereum is like 6 years old. It's probably doing a good work if we compare Genesis dates لها.
Okay.
Like we trusted good minds. وأنا الانالوجي اللي بحب أعملها بالكوميونتي. Layer 1 are basically like countries. وعندنا choice ننقي وين نعيش فيهم. وكلنا عندنا values. أخي أنا ما كتير. You're a tech guy. I'm a money guy. Let's call it هيك. I like fast stuff. Solana is where I choose to be. That doesn't mean it's not superior. Or ETH is more superior. You're a tech guy. You choose to live on Ethereum. You're a philosopher guy. You go and choose on Bitcoin blockchains. L1 are literally like countries where people بينقوا وين بده يعيشوا.
Yeah, and it's almost dogmatic at places بتلاقي عالم they believe
BST is
so
for
much.
shit coins يعني في cultures في narratives.
بدنا بروكولي معنا.
that doesn't كل واحدة ما بتقتل الثاني يعني they can all live together يعني. بس
Okay.
Solana is doing an amazing أنا برأيي يعني is doing an amazing work in terms of decentralizing the network, more collections, which you know I'm a fan of Solana NFTs. الرود مابس تبعهم للبيج collections هي where you stake the NFT, you get it, Solana لأنه they're buying actual nodes وعم بوزعونها على العالم. They're building their leverage and they're starting marching towards decentralized. It's a long road.
So what's the third narrative?
The third narrative is a narrative that ما بعرف إذا أنت يعني فيه هو إنه all Solana nodes run on the same operating software.
So they do.
Exactly. Like
So this is not a narrative. This is a fact.
This is exact. وهون ال counter argument كان إنه كمان Ethereum does that. They're all on بعتقد AWS as I'm not wrong.
هلا إيه بس Ethereum does it not because the Ethereum Foundation decided so. Solana does it because Solana decided so. So هديك لأنه people that are running Ethereum nodes decided to rent AWS servers because maybe they get them for discounts, maybe they get بنقوا regions فيهم you know low latency.
That's totally right.
صح؟
Solana طلعوا approach Ethereum وخسروا القرار وصار الكل يلحقهم. هلا أنت you can يعني initially nodes كانوا ب AWS هلا you can set it up مطرح ما بدك بس لأنه خلص صار كل العالم AWS Solana Foundation نقت Solana AWS فكر صارت كل العالم تمشي وراه. بس إذا أنت عملتها على غير محل ما بيقولوا لك لا بس إنه it's better لك to do it هنيك يعني. That's three arguments اللي أنا محضرهم يعني.
Okay. So أنا بالنسبة لإلي the fact that Solana is proof of stake and 40% of the tokens and even more than that is with insider people. To run a node, you need a supercomputer.
That argument isn't actually valid.
ليش؟
نرجع
Most people can't afford this kind of processing power.
نرجع لل coefficient. Coefficient quantifies tech. You're talking about tech.
So your argument is since the coefficient is already عالي, right? It justifies all the other aspects that are centralized in the ecosystem.
How do you want to approach nodes being expensive? No. في a metric that quantifies tech on the blockchain.
It quantifies how many nodes you need to win over the blockchain.
صح, which is basically decentralization.
It is decentralization at the tech level. بس
مش
at the value level ومش at the trust level.
Your third argument was about tech level. وجاوبت قلت لك
بس انت عم تستعمل الكوفيشنت كcounter. I'm saying انه the coefficient لحاله is not enough is not a counter argument. بس compounding stuff مثلا عندك خليني ارجع اعيدهم بس انه في
40%
والcentralization of power
اكثر توكن كان ده الكوميونتي ديستريبيوشن بالالوانز كلهم excluding بيتكوين والسولانا. كيف هيدا والسولانا فاونديشن عندهم انفستنج سكادجول فدوا هول السبلاي اللي انت عم تقول عنه كتير.
بس ما هيدا الفستنج سكادجول منه illusion. هلا ما في شيء.
They
have a plan.
They have a structured plan. You can go and تشوفها. وبلاس ايثيريوم وانا عملوا الاي سي او تبعهم الكوميونتي ما كان عندها هالقد اكسس على السبلاي.
طيب in addition
regular people بينما سولانا
بس
اكثر عالم
بس in addition it's proof of stake and what you're staking is locked.
Proof of stake is a weak consensus.
It's very weak.
It's a very weak.
بس ما أنا عم أقول إنه if you take all these arguments separately فيك تعطيهم counter arguments كلهم صح بس سوا they create such a centralized network that I cannot put my trust in such a network. I cannot put my value in this network because there's a lot of red flags now. So right now Ethereum I can run a node in my bathroom.
في كتير type of nodes. Nodes you can.
I don't have to be a miner. I don't have to be a miner. I'm just saying I'm running a node.
يعني هون بتيجي الخبرية ماينر حيبقى ما حيبقى nobody knows about the future تبع this narrative على ايثيريوم.
هيدا
جاد predicts
هيدا another debate
جاد
هي ايثيريوم 2.0 مش هلا.
جاد predicts stuff بس انه ايثيريوم is clearly superior على سولانا clearly I have no doubt about it. بس سولانا isn't a server حطه بالأوضة. في steps
So it's not
في شغل
Polygon.
عم ينحط it's not Polygon. في شغل عم ينحط towards decentralizing the network. It values speed, it values elitism مثل ما قلت عندهم إياها بالcommunity. They think that developers تبعهم know what you're doing know أكتر من حدا who can actually proclaim إنه هيدا.
I think every ecosystem هيك.
هول values هن حاطينهم قبل كل العالم. They're working towards decentralization مع الوقت which you can't actually it's not a binary number ما فيك توعى decentralized name centralized
أكيد
بتصير خبرية يعني
أكيد
بدك تقطع ببروسس
بس مهم يكون الدايركشن تبع البروجرس اللي حاطينه
That's
للنتورك
what I've been saying
towards
for 20
decentralization.
minutes يعني انه البروجرام اللي حاطينه towards decentralization لبلوك تشين عمرها سنتين makes as someone who values money I can't put my money هونيك exactly لانه ايثيريوم توصلت لذا ستيت اخذت 6 سنين.
اوكي
ايثيريوم كلاسيك الكراشز كل الاخوان انت ما جبت سيره الاوتج لانه بتعرف انه حجيب لك سيره ايثيريوم كلاسيك بس انه اتس فيري سيميلر ان جروث للتشين وبالنهايه you can choose to live here or choose to live here or choose to live here or choose to live here. بس in terms of decentralization I think we could see انه Solana on the long term could be considered a proper decentralized blockchain مع stuff that they're doing.
Will it still be as fast?
هون بيجي السؤال which إذا it doesn't إذا ما بتبقى as fast
It's called the trilemma for a reason.
صح إذا ما بتبقى as fast Solana هو selling point بتوقع إنه بالنهاية it's a business عنده business model وعنده marketing plan.
وأنا I think for them to keep it fast they need to keep centralized control.
Yes.
So صاروا Solana هن Visa أو Mastercard بس they use blockchain as the tech.
You can't compare Visa على Solana. This no Visa إنه إذا أنت هلا عم تحول لبلد بيقول لك لا that isn't the case.
Okay. So you're saying
some kind of centralization مثل ما في بإيثيريوم
بس ما it's centralized and they can regulate it.
Infura is
But they can regulate the company. They can regulate it directly.
They can regulate Ethereum Foundation كمان. It's an NGO لا.
It's an NGO.
You can
But
regulate
it has but Ethereum Foundation only handles the development of Ethereum. It doesn't run all the nodes.
Okay.
بينما Solana does the company.
مع الوقت بده يخففوا.
مع الوقت بده يخففوا بس right now
okay, you compare
it's susceptible to governmental attacks.
Okay.
يعني بسكروا Solana بتوقف النتورك.
لا ما on papers ما لازم. On papers
بس in fact
أنا ما بعرف let's test it يلا. On papers ما لازم. On papers ما لازم يصير هيك. لأن إذا بيصير هيك إنه that's
okay.
إنه they claim إنه foundation claims إنه that will not happen. That's not the case يعني.
Okay.
بس إنه معك حق.
في هيدا الريسك I guess.
Infura is a risk on Ethereum.
Infura, Morales, of course they are risk.
No.
بس إنه Infura is easily replaceable. So any Solana endpoint. يعني أنا بحكيك as a developer right now to develop anything for Solana, we have to run a private RPC node, right? And we cannot access public RPC nodes.
You're yeah, okay. I understand.
And it's very يعني to build on Solana
Ethereum to build
is much more
Ethereum
it's
to
very
build
simple.
on it.
Very straightforward.
أكيد هلا 4 years ago ما بحس.
I mean Solidity as a language has evolved a lot.
Let's give time لSolana.
بس Rust is a very developed language and it's not the problem.
The problem
is the infrastructure الموجودة for running tests, for the devnets, for testing the products on a يعني testing every layer of the technology, every layer of your application. On Solana هلا you need to run a private RPC and download the entire blockchain and all of that just so you can do some tests.
Okay. الفكرة هي إنه شيء that involve testnet على Ethereum is actually built as a service, right? في people that helps you and the community grows واشتغل towards
so نحن
where time comes into value.
نحن مثلا كريبتو وير عندنا our own testnet. But it lives on one server. It's not really decentralized. It's just a testnet.
testnet.
It's EVM.
But to be able to bring that testnet, someone did it before you, right? قطع عليه الدهر, قطع عليه الوقت. That's where عم بقول لك in terms of development, Solana needs time. It's not easily accessible to develop عليها. It needs time. مثل ما Ethereum needed time. أكيد I would bet إنه من 6 سنين أو من 5 سنين developing on Ethereum wasn't that good يعني. Right?
It wasn't that easy for
كيف في
sure.
Viper.
هلا it's much easier. Yeah, no, I don't think anyone's still using Viper.
صح.
I think
واغلاط اللي عملتهم ايثيريوم سولانا tried to تظبطهم then لقيت غير مشاكل which is overall innovation لكل السبيس.
اكيد ما في شك ما في شك.
ما بنعرف اذا ايثيريوم هي حتكون التشين بس بنعرف انه فكره سمارت كونتراكتس وفكره الديسنتراليزيشن فكره النودز is actually the tech that we believe in. Any error and failure in that sense would bring space تيصير more mature and more solid to build on real life and huge applications which you know in sense Solana is a good for the ecosystem and it's not that bad.
So I think already نحن نعرف انه we've agreed to disagree on that subject a long time ago, but we thought we'd try to have a mature conversation about it and try to help everyone maybe understand our different points of views. Now what I'm interested in, كمان, if anyone has any questions or any points to add to our discussion, please just type that in on Discord and we'll check it out and see if we can answer your questions. بركي حدا
gas fees
بركي حدا عنده
هيدي
that's another session, right? That's another nightly maybe, but because
from user
because even you say that gas fees are what protect you, right?
أكيد
they're your security,
right
مزبوط. بس هاي definitely بينعمل واحدة تانية يعني. So let's see if anyone has any question.
كنا نكون 3 أشخاص ما يكون سرنا. That's very cool. في أسئلة؟
هات نشوف.
يعني بيسألنا بوب.
So someone is saying that Satoshi mined a 5% of the total supply in the early days. Someone's attacking Bitcoin's decentralization.
Who? Where?
أبي حنا.
شرب الأبي حنا.
نعم. شو بتقول له؟
Satoshi mined 5%.
ايه أول شيء شربيل من وين هيدا؟ من وين هول الأرقام؟
بس
من
let's say he mined them.
According to chain analysis, he says.
Let's say he mined them, right? Which was very logical لأن إنه أنا عامل بيتكوين أكيد رح أروح أجيب أقوى بي سي ممكن بالعالم. إنه like investing my company to make it work to validate transaction.
Okay.
إنه بالنهاية إنه حدا needs to validate all transactions.
Okay.
أنا أعملها أكيد حجيب كمبيوتر which will do that يعني بس إنه that's not the case لأنه إذا في كثير عالم معهم supply أكتر من ساتوشي هلا يعني.
مزبوط.
وبلس his wallet is a dormant wallet بنسميها ما بحس حيفتحها بحياته.
ما بتعرف. That's one argument. I mean ما بتعرف.
لا هلا بعدها نايمة ولا وقت كتير نايمة يعني.
Do you think they destroyed the private keys?
No idea.
Okay. So does anyone else have any question?
It's literally like investing in your company. Okay. بعتقد time round out.
So our time is definitely up. I'm just making sure that no one has any more questions.
You're gonna close it off?
Yeah. So there's Crabman asking. Let's just see if... Okay. So guys, thanks for logging in. Thanks for listening to that talk. We've really enjoyed preparing for it. And we're going to try to prepare more talks like that, other than the nightly, which we will keep open for everyone to have discussions at, rather than this kind of back and forth. Thank you for logging in. And we'll catch you next time. Nick?
Good job.
Good job.